Dear child, a troubling force has been at work in the shadows, closer and quicker than you might realize. Over the past week, an unseen influence has circled your name, not merely your life or reputation, but something far more significant. This pertains to a property deed, a crucial document that affirms your identity, rights, and rightful place. At this very moment, someone is actively manipulating circumstances, twisting truths, and undermining systems with the intent of erasing your existence. However, before their scheme reaches fruition, it is imperative that you understand this situation as it unfolds. A new development begins here. This is not mere coincidence. For the past 7 days, someone has been engaging in clandestine discussions, whispering, convincing, and manipulating others to craft a narrative wherein you cease to exist on paper. They have sought loopholes, researched old signatures, and reached out to individuals connected to your history, all while banking on your silence. Yet, they have underestimated the significance of the document they seek to alter, which bears a timestamp, a witness, and a clause that safeguards your identity with an impenetrable shield. Presently, that shield is beginning to shine in your favor. I can discern the moment their confidence wavers as they come to this realization. Removing your name will not be as simple as they reckoned. An additional truth surfaces now, one that will unsettle the individual tracking your every move. While they attempted to obliterate your existence, another entity has quietly intervened on your behalf, someone well versed in the law, who has been advocating for your interests without your knowledge. Over the past week, documents they tried to manipulate have been thwarted, calls have been flagged, and emails have gone unanswered throughout the approval process. The system itself has been resisting their actions because the universe refuses to permit the theft of your identity. Moreover, a crucial piece of evidence from the past, something you may have forgotten, has reappeared, solidifying your name's presence on that deed, unscathed and unassailable no matter their efforts. Beloved child, a new wave of truth emerges, one that is more profound, sharper, and considerably more shocking than before. While one individual sought to erase your name from that property deed, something unforeseen unfolded in the background. Each of their moves, calls, and concealed conversations were tracked, recorded, and flagged by a system they operated unaware of. The universe has been compiling evidence of their misdeeds, awaiting the perfect moment to reveal it. That moment is now, as the individual attempting to erase you is about to encounter an unforeseen complication. Just when they thought they were succeeding, the deed office received a notification, alert linking your signature, your identity, and your ownership to a security protocol that activates upon unauthorized alterations. This protocol not only obstructed their efforts but also exposed them. Their identity, motivations, and the precise timing of their attempts were logged permanently, confirming that someone sought to tamper with a legally protected document. The deeper truth is that this alert has automatically placed your file under review, rendering it impossible for anyone to alter or question it without the oversight of superior authorities. From the moment that review commenced, your position became stronger than ever. With this new turn of events, the individual seeking to erase you faces increased pressure. They realize they have been caught, and as they scramble to conceal their actions, the system tightens around them. Their endeavors from the past 7 days have unraveled, their plan is disintegrating, leaving your name resplendent on that property deed, safeguarded by truth, law, and forces they cannot dominate. Dear child, the narrative shifts, casting a shadow on them while illuminating your path, as the forthcoming truths will impact profoundly. The person who sought to eliminate your name did not act alone, they were guided, influenced, and perhaps even promised a reward upon success. Their haste over the past week was driven not by confidence, but by desperation. What they failed to recognize is that every frantic maneuver leaves a trace. Each trace leads directly back to the architect of this entire scheme, and at this moment, the trail conclusively points to them, revealing clarity that cannot be denied. A new layer of revelation unfolds, capable of piercing through all their fabrications. This individual attempted to exploit familial tensions, obscure paperwork, and long-buried misunderstandings to fabricate a loophole, aiming to steer the narrative and quietly remove you. However, fate intervened to prevent that. A document they presumed lost has resurfaced, a detail they believed could be concealed has been validated, and a witness they assumed would remain silent has come forward, further reinforcing your position. Everything they aimed to bury has ignited with fervor. Another significant truth emerges, this one altering the outcome drastically in your favor. The authority overseeing your file has officially classified your deed for a protective verification process, meaning your name cannot be modified, contested, or removed until the review is concluded. Encouragingly, the review is swaying towards your advantage since preponderant evidence corroborates your claims. The universe has orchestrated every obstacle and delay to shield you. Meanwhile, the individual attempting to eradicate your name is becoming increasingly anxious. Their calls are left unanswered, their requests systematically rejected. And their arrogance has morphed into fear. Your name is not merely safe, it grows stronger, more permanent, and better protected with each passing moment. Beloved child, the fifth layer of this truth descends like an inevitable storm. It unveils something deeper than their failed efforts. The individual who sought to remove your name from the property deed is now confronting the irreversible error that will haunt them. In their desperation, they have inadvertently triggered a secondary check, a concealed system that activates only under special circumstances. This has compounded their challenges and solidified your position, as the realization of their overreach soon dawns upon them. When individuals attempt unauthorized modifications repeatedly, it raises not just concerns but demands a comprehensive investigation. As this audit commenced, the hidden truths began to surface, revealing intentions, connections, and clandestine dealings that had been obscured from view. The reality they faced was more intense than they ever anticipated. A key discovery from the review board highlighted discrepancies not only in their explanations but also within the documentation they had provided. Signatures were inconsistent, timestamps were inaccurately recorded, and the supposed third-party witness had no traceable involvement. Most alarming of all, the audit revealed that one document they had presented had been modified recently, without authorization. This single error unraveled their deceit, exposing motivations steeped in greed, long-standing grudges, or coercion from those wishing to exploit them. Their actions betrayed their true intentions, and as the investigation progressed, it became evident that you were indeed the rightful owner of that property, with no legal or ethical means available for them to contest your claim. As fate intervened, a higher authority, after assessing the turmoil of the preceding week, took charge. They didn't merely evaluate the current state of affairs but scrutinized the property's historical context, the rationale for your name's registration, and the emotional significance attached to it. Upon recognizing the authenticity of your claim, they made a decisive ruling. Your name is now safeguarded with an unprecedented level of protection that no external force can contest. Meanwhile, those who endeavored to obliterate your presence now confront the repercussions of their own actions, rejection, suspicion, and a traceable history of unauthorized interference that will haunt them. And you, remarkably, emerge even more resilient. Your name has not simply endured, it is now secured with an unyielding force. As we navigate this narrative, the sixth wave of truth unfurls dramatically. While they besieged their efforts to rectify the damage, a larger narrative was quietly unraveling behind the scenes. The investigative team maintained their pursuit of the truth and unearthed a behavioral pattern indicative of their hidden agendas long before recent events transpired. Past inquiries, conversations, and questionable requests pieced together a timeline that indicated their intentions to remove you spanned far beyond this past week, thwarted only by destiny's hand. With the unfolding of new revelations, your position has never been more reinforced. A secondary, seemingly inconsequential document surfaced during the audit, which contained vital information. It confirmed that your name had been added with full consent, valid authority, and a clear purpose. This vital evidence negated every counterargument they had presented, establishing that your ownership was genuine, unwavering, and shielded by the same laws they sought to circumvent. Once this documentation was brought to light, the review underwent a profound transformation. What once hung in doubt became irrefutable, and every delicate notion solidified. Their attempts throughout the week morphed into testaments of their misdeeds rather than threats against your rights. The ultimate twist emerges as another influential figure steps forward, possessing the authority to resolve disputes, finalize decisions, and permanently secure records. After meticulously reviewing the evidence, including alerts, discrepancies, and unauthorized alterations surrounding your ownership, they rendered a verdict that shifted the entire landscape. Your deed is now firmly classified as non-removable. This designation guarantees that neither relatives, outsiders, nor hidden adversaries can amend your name without provoking a substantial inquiry. Your identity in this property is now shielded by layers of security unmatchable by previous standards. In stark contrast, those who sought to erase you find themselves grappling with the ramifications of their failed attack. Their actions have led to exposure, and their scheme's collapse now reflects their downfall. Your name remains steadfast, secured in permanence and protection. Just as fate decreed, the seventh revelation unfolds with intense drama, unveiling the hidden layers of their failed machinations. They may have anticipated a quiet resolution, but the universe had already crafted a mirror reflecting their moves back at them with precise clarity. The final investigative team concluded their assessment, uncovering not merely shocking evidence but irreversible outcomes. Their actions had not only been dubious but classified deliberately as tampering with protected ownership, all resulting in a permanent blemish on their record. Their attempt to erase you only served to undermine their own credibility. An even deeper truth has emerged, sealing your success. The legal panel scrutinized the origins of your ownership, validating every signature and witness involved. The truth revealed that your inclusion was neither temporary nor accidental. It was a lawful and intentional act with safeguards ensuring the activation of protection against any challenges. These safeguards were in place long before this conflict arose, as if fate anticipated such an attempt. As a result, your title is now unequivocally established. This verdict is more than a victory, it is a declaration that your rights have always been firm, unassailable, and secure. Yet, the ultimate twist, the one that delivers the most significant blow, arrives now. The highest authority presiding over this matter did not merely secure your name, they classified the entire file in a manner that prevents any future contention. Your deed is now encased with legal firewalls, identity protections, extensive verification processes, and a security classification accessible only to a select few. The universe has enveloped your rightful claim in a protective shield that guarantees no one can attempt what they have tried again. As the individual who sought to erase you crumbles under the weight of their exposure, their fear, regret, and panic intensify, a recognition that their failure has inadvertently fortified your position. Their scheme has backfired thoroughly, rendering your ownership more permanent than ever. Your name now radiates like a beacon of truth after a storm, untouchable, irrefutable, and perpetually safeguarded. Beloved child, the eighth wave emerges forcefully, definitively resolving the situation at last. Following days filled with concealed machinations, illicit discussions, and desperate maneuvers, the truth stands louder than ever. The higher authorities finalized their investigation earlier today, unearthing evidence that obliterated any remaining hopes for the opposing party. What they had attempted wasn't merely dubious, it was classified as intentional tampering, a calculated effort to erase your rightful claim. With this classification, the case transitioned from a challenge to an absolute close. Their final chance evaporated the instant the ultimate report was finalized, carrying an authoritative verdict. Every piece of evidence directly traces back to the mastermind behind this entire scheme, and at this juncture, the evidence unmistakably points to this individual, shedding light that cannot be disregarded. A new layer of truth emerges, capable of cutting through all their deceptive narratives. This person sought to exploit familial discord, obscure documentation, and long-standing misunderstandings to create a loophole designed to manipulate the situation and quietly erase your presence. However, fate intervened to thwart those intentions. A document they believed to be lost has resurfaced, a detail they thought could be hidden has been confirmed, and a witness they presumed would remain silent has come forward, further bolstering your case. Everything they tried to suppress has erupted with renewed vigor. Another crucial truth emerges, one that significantly shifts the situation in your favor. The authority responsible for your file has officially classified your deed for a protective review process, rendering your name immune to alteration, challenge, or removal until the examination is concluded. Encouragingly, the review trends towards your advantage, as substantial evidence backs your claims. The universe has conspicuously arranged every obstacle and delay to protect you. Meanwhile, the individual attempting to erase your name is growing increasingly anxious. Their calls go unanswered. Their requests are systematically denied, and their arrogance has spiraled into fear. Your name is not only safe, it is becoming stronger, more permanent, and better protected with every passing moment. Beloved child, the fifth revelation of this truth looms like a storm on the horizon. It uncovers something deeper than their unsuccessful endeavors. The individual intent on removing your name from the property deed is now facing the irreversible blunder that will haunt them. In their desperation, they unwittingly triggered a secondary review, a secretive system that engages only under specific circumstances. This has compounded their problems and solidified your position, as the gravity of their overreach dawns upon them. When individuals repeatedly attempt unauthorized alterations, it raises significant concerns, necessitating a thorough investigation. As this audit commenced, hidden truths began to emerge, revealing intentions, connections, and covert dealings that had previously been concealed. The reality they encountered was far more intense than they ever expected. A crucial finding from the review board spotlighted discrepancies not only in their accounts but also within the documentation they submitted. Signatures were found inconsistent, timestamps were inaccurately logged, and the alleged third-party witness lacked any verifiable involvement. Most troubling of all, the audit uncovered that one document they presented had been recently modified without authorization. This singular error unraveled their deceit, exposing motivations steeped in greed, deep-seated grudges, or coercion from those intending to exploit them. Their actions revealed their true intentions, and as the investigation advanced, it became clear that you were indeed the rightful owner of that property, with no legal or ethical grounds available for them to contest your claim. As fate intervened, a higher authority, after assessing the turmoil of the preceding week, assumed control. They did not solely examine the current circumstances but scrutinized the historical context of the property, the rationale for your name's registration, and the emotional significance associated with it. Upon recognizing the legitimacy of your claim, they rendered a decisive ruling. Your name is now protected with an unprecedented level of safeguarding that no external force can challenge. Meanwhile, those who attempted to obliterate your presence are now facing the consequences of their actions: rejection, suspicion, and a documentable history of unauthorized interference that will haunt them. And you, remarkably, emerge even more resilient. Your name has not simply survived, it is now secured with an unyielding strength. As this narrative unfolds, the sixth wave of truth dramatically reveals itself. While they endeavored to rectify the damage, a more extensive narrative was quietly unraveling behind the scenes. The investigative team remained committed to unearthing the truth and discovered behavior patterns that indicated their hidden agendas long before the recent events. Previous inquiries, conversations, and questionable requests coalesced into a timeline that suggested their intentions to eliminate you extended far beyond the preceding week, thwarted only by the hand of destiny. With the emergence of newer revelations, your position has never been firmer. A secondary, seemingly inconsequential document surfaced during the audit, containing critical information. It confirmed that your name had been added with full consent, valid authority, and a clear purpose. This crucial evidence undermined every counterargument raised against you, establishing that your ownership was genuine, unwavering, and protected by the very laws they sought to bypass. Once this documentation was unveiled, the review underwent a profound transformation. What once lingered in uncertainty became irrefutable, with every delicate notion solidifying. Their attempts throughout the week transformed into testimonies of their wrongdoings rather than threats against your rights. The ultimate twist arrives as another influential figure steps forward, endowed with the authority to resolve disputes, finalize decisions, and permanently secure records. After meticulously reviewing the evidence, including alerts, discrepancies, and unauthorized alterations surrounding your ownership, they rendered a verdict that altered the entire landscape. Your deed is now firmly classified as non-removable. This designation guarantees that neither relatives, outsiders, nor hidden adversaries can amend your name without inciting a substantial inquiry. Your identity regarding this property is now fortified by security layers unmatched by previous standards. In stark contrast, those who aim to erase you grapple with the ramifications of their failed assault. Their actions have led to exposure, and the collapse of their scheme now reflects their downfall. Your name remains steadfast, secured in permanence and protection. Just as fate intended, the seventh revelation unfolds with intense drama, unveiling the hidden layers of their failed machinations. An even deeper revelation now surfaces, illustrating how destiny fought for you, often unnoticed. The concluding audit revealed an old document, harboring a note from the authority who initially sanctioned your inclusion on the property deed. This note articulated the intent behind your addition, emphasizing its purpose as a means of protection for your future, ensuring no internal strife or covert pressures could strip away your rights. That singular line, hidden within the archives, emerged as the cornerstone of your triumph. When presented to the review team, this revelation shifted the entire narrative from mere technicalities to matters of intention, purpose, and justice. The universe resurrected a fragment of history to advocate for you. At the moment that note was unearthed, the board recognized the unassailable nature of your position. Your ownership transcended legality, it was preordained. Yet the most potent truth, the one that puts an end to their plotting, arises now. Your file has transitioned into a state of permanent ownership confirmation. This establishment guarantees that no authority, individual, or rival can challenge, modify, or question your name on that deed ever again. Any future attempts will automatically trigger legal ramifications against the perpetrator, acting as a final safeguard. The individual who spent the last week attempting to erase you now finds themselves powerless, their influence dismantled, their connections severed, their strategy reduced to ashes. The universe has solidified your name in that deed, illuminating it in a manner that cannot be obscured or threatened again. Your victory resonates, not in silence, but with an echo that reverberates far and wide. Your protection is not temporary, it's eternal. Your identity regarding that property stands resolute, indestructible, and precisely as destiny intended. The ninth wave emerges like a final unveiling of the full narrative, the underlying reasons why these events unfolded as they did. What seemed like a struggle merely to preserve your name was, in fact, a profound test of strength, truth, and safeguarding. Now, having traversed all facets of this investigation, the universe presents the full picture. The entity that sought to expunge you didn't merely fail, they exposed their hidden connections, underlying motivations, and the silent allies whispering encouragement from their shadows. The audit team has identified each individual tied to their endeavors, and the circle once arrayed against you is now fracturing. Their cohesion is unraveling. Their confidence is eroding. Every maneuver they employed has metamorphosed into corroborative evidence, evidence that only solidifies your position. A significant detail has now come to light, providing clarity on why your name endured with such resilience. The system revealed a timestamp attached to your initial registration, signifying that your ownership was recorded during a special protective time frame. Any name included during this phase obtains legal shielding for life, a protection so stringent that even high-level authorities cannot alter it without initiating major legal proceedings. With your name recorded at that pivotal moment, the universe aligned in your favor. Every endeavor they undertook over the previous week fell apart before it could reach fruition, their documents faltering, their clandestine calls rejected, as destiny activated that protective layer the instant they attempted to access your file. They were not merely battling against you. They were contending with a law that supersedes them and a destiny that cannot be overturned. Yet the most significant twist that brings this saga to its zenith is that your deed has now been assigned an irreversible ownership lock classification. This classification is so stringent that your name extends beyond mere protection, it is interwoven into the deed as part of the permanent record. Any attempt to challenge your claim in the future will not only fail, it will immediately invoke legal repercussions against the perpetrator. Your identity is now automatically defended by the system. You need not argue in its favor, nor validate it. The law stands behind you, the records uphold you, and destiny shields you. As the individual who aspired to erase you comes to grips with the gravity of their miscalculation, they realize they have not only lost but have unintentionally fortified your legacy. Their scheme birthed the very power that has rendered your ownership unassailable. Your name now graces that deed like a proud emblem, eternal, prominent, and steadfast, shining with a vitality that can never again be challenged.